RobertJShiller, The New Financial Order, Risk in the 21st Century. In The New Financial Order, Risk in the 21st Century, RobertJShiller explores the complexities of economic risk and emphasizes the need for innovative financial tools to manage them. Shiller identifies various risks, from career uncertainties to global issues, that go beyond traditional insurance coverage. By tapping into the potential of technology, he envisions a new paradigm where these risks can be mitigated through global risk information databases, indexed units of account, and progressive financial instruments. This summary will guide you through the myriad of ideas and approaches presented in the book, and help you to better understand the often overlooked importance of risk management in the age of modern finance.
Democratizing Finance. Public officials condition us to believe that the economic progress of the 20th century made finances less risky. However, many of these risks are long-term in nature, difficult to predict, and not treated seriously by politicians, media, or the public. This book advocates for democratizing finance and creating insurance policies that cover risks such as the replacement of human labor with technology, the globalization of jobs and capital flow, and the risk of economic havoc caused by global warming. The author believes that bringing the advantages enjoyed by Wall Street clients to the customers of Walmart can help manage the new risks promulgated by technology itself. Effective risk management. Effective risk management must address human psychology before financial innovations can be accepted. It is crucial to consider the framing of how something is presented, which can strongly influence people's perceptions. For instance, the U.S. Social Security program uses the term contributions to describe mandatory taxes workers pay to support retirees. This terminology makes workers feel like they are contributing to a fund they will later benefit from, resulting in less resentment towards the payments. It is essential to keep in mind that psychological obstacles can hinder risk management tools' effectiveness. The future of finance. The book explores how electronic database technology has revolutionized finance, enabling the creation of radical new financial instruments designed to transfer the burden of risks to large pools of investors. The author argues that data is crucial in this new era, requiring every individual to have an electronic ID that tracks their transactions, earnings, career path, purchases, and sales. The information collected could be stored in global risk information databases, grids, which would set the baselines for all types of risk management contracts. The book suggests that legislation and government subsidies may be necessary to ensure privacy standards are met. The author compares this new era in finance to the invention of the telescope in astronomy, asserting that the world of finance is at the cusp of a similarly world-changing revolution. Revolutionizing currency with indexed units of account. Fluctuations in currency values have caused economic issues in the past, but indexed units of account can prevent these problems in the future. The importance of currency is decreasing, with the majority of transactions being non-cash. Chile introduced the Unidad de Fomento, UF, in 1967, which has allowed them to avoid the effects of inflation. If the U.S. government adopted similar units, it would legitimize them and open up opportunities for radical financial innovations. Insuring against unforeseen economic risks. Insurance policies are common for protecting individuals against death, disability, or property loss. However, two economic risks have yet to be covered by insurance: a decline in earning power and a decrease in property value. Livelihood insurance would protect workers from layoffs or specialized professionals from skills that become outdated. Home equity insurance would benefit homeowners and prevent the white flight phenomenon from suburban areas seen in the past. These types of policies would transfer risks from individuals to a pool of investors who diversify to mitigate various risks. Such policies would encourage fulfilling careers and homeownership. A better measure of countries' economic performance. Stock markets do not accurately represent a country's economic performance. Instead, a macro market where investors can bet on the future value of a country's GDP would be a better proxy. Such a futures market could enable the transfer of economic risks to investors globally and prevent fraud and speculative bubbles. Though no perfect example of such macro markets exists, experiments like the economic derivatives market are in progress. Securities derived from the future value of incomes or homes could be traded through this market, issued by the same insurance companies that underwrite livelihood and home equity insurance. Borrower risk management. With instantaneous electronic trading, borrowers taking out long-term, fixed-rate loans face increased risk. The solution is to adopt new ways of pricing loans, such as linking interest rates and principal balance to future income or income indexes of similar people. This transfers some risk to investors while reducing the likelihood of borrower bankruptcy. Similar models are already being used by some law schools to encourage low-paying, socially meaningful jobs. Ideally, income-linked loans should be available for all types of loans, including mortgages and personal loans. Such a system gives lenders protection and allows for risk mitigation. Reforming the income tax system. In the U.S., the income gap between rich and poor keeps growing. The solution could be a tax reform that gradually increases tax brackets to maintain a fixed level of inequality. This would not affect most taxpayers, but it could benefit poor citizens. This approach is different from the more progressive tax systems of Canada and Sweden, which have promoted egalitarianism. However, these tax systems have also led to a negative perception of financial success. A tax reform that legislates an acceptable level of inequality could balance the incentive to earn large sums with the need to help the less fortunate. Reimagining Social Security. The current Social Security system in the U.S. and many other countries places all the risk on the young, while retirees receive guaranteed income based on taxes from today's workers. Proposals for individual accounts to invest in the stock market do not address the underlying issue of risk management. To create a more equitable system, risk should be shared between generations. One solution proposed is adjusting the percentage of taxes taken out of workers' paychecks to equal the percentage of the population that is retired. Sweden's social security system incorporates a variable percentage interest rate based on economic growth. The existing social security system in the United States and many other countries is flawed. Although it provides a guaranteed income to retirees, it places all the risk on the young, who are responsible for funding it. According to the book, proposals to reform the system through individual accounts investing in the stock markets do not address the underlying issue of risk management, but merely transfer the burden to the corporations. To create a fairer system, the risk must be shared between the generations. One proposed solution is adjusting the percentage of taxes taken out of workers' paychecks, which would automatically change with demographics. The book highlights Sweden's new social security system incorporates a variable percentage interest rate based on economic growth, making it an excellent example of how shared risk between generations can be implemented. The author poses a thought-provoking question: if scientific units of measurement remain stable, why not have fundamental economic units of measurement as well? This book on social security reform is a must-read for anyone interested in economic policy. International agreements for risk transfer. The distribution of economic risks among nations can be achieved via long-term international risk management agreements. These agreements could involve a group of developed nations exchanging claims on future changes in their GDPs with a developing nation. The wealthier parties will pay if the poorer country experiences lower than expected GDP growth, and the poorer country would return a portion of higher than expected growth to the wealthy countries. The mere existence of such an agreement would bring about positive economic changes in the developing country, and it could dwarf the amounts paid presently in foreign aid. Historically, financial innovations have occurred when governments take initiatives to better the market environment.
As our world's technological and financial landscape evolves, so must our approach to risk management. In The New Financial Order, Robert J. Shiller confronts this challenge head-on and presents several groundbreaking strategies for better preparing individuals, businesses, and even governments for the wide array of risks we will inevitably face. From the innovative adoption of livelihood insurance to the development of macro markets, Shiller's ideas hold the promise of revolutionizing our understanding of risk and restructuring our financial systems to better respond to future challenges. With the integration of data, technology, and creative financial instruments, Shiller's vision offers a framework for mitigating the uncertainties surrounding our collective future in the 21st century.